Hi guys. Okay, so this is actually my third attempt for this live video this morning because for some reason my internet connection keeps cutting me off, which is weird. It never happens. But anyway, so hopefully we can get this one done. This is not the best time of day to do a live video. I apologize for that. Most of you are either asleep on the West Coast or in Europe. It might be in the middle of your day. So maybe people in Australia are probably the only people who might be able to join us. It's around 9:30 in the morning here in Toronto, Canada. But I had no time in the evening to do this, which is the time that most of you are live and could join me. But again, this is a live video, and I'm hoping that because it gets recorded, if it doesn't get disconnected because of my wireless issues today, it's going to get recorded and it's going to be there, and you can actually go whenever you can and listen to it. So the reason I'm doing this live video is I want to answer your questions about the Grow Food with Kids at Home Blueprint course that, as you probably know, I have opened registration for it. So and I've been getting a lot of questions from the community, and I did send an email yesterday. These are my notes over here to you guys with it was a long email, and it had a link to a long FAQ. And a lot of you were like, okay, I don't have time to read all of that. And I do understand. So that's why I'm doing this live video. Hoping that I can answer some of your questions. Now, if you did have the chance to join us, again, this is not the best time of day for a live video, and I apologize for that. My evening was crazy. There was no way I could do it when most of you guys are live. But again, I hope that you can watch it later. I'm going to answer those questions that I have gotten from you about the course, about the Grow Food with Kids at Home the Blueprint course. Hopefully you can, and I'm going to put the link, registration link down below this video in the comments, and I'm going to also put the FAQ PDF that I sent to you guys to the people who are on my list yesterday. But I think this is a better way of explaining, the answers to your questions. So there has been a lot of questions that I got about the course. One of them is about the time that the exercises are going to take. Okay, so there, as you have probably noticed, when I explained in the video that I explained about the course is going to be 6 weeks, and each week you're going to have hands-on exercises related to growing food that you're going to do with your kids. And these exercises, some of you were asking, how much time are these exercises going to take? Okay, so depending on how many kids you have, and how many, what age they are and which week we're in, you're going to need to spend somewhere around 15 minutes to an hour for this whole week. So for a whole week, between 15 minutes to an hour. So this is not going to take a lot of your time in terms of doing the exercises with your kids, okay? And when it comes to shopping and the time that it needs to shop for the material, again, I have students from all over the world. Like I have students from in Europe, in Australia, in the United States, in Africa, Asia, all over the world, right? In Canada, in US, Mexico, all those places. So obviously I don't know your specific situation, how long does it take you to go to the stores and come back and things like that. But most of the stuff that you're going to have to purchase are things like seeds and soil and pots, and we're not talking about fancy stuff. Most of the time, most of you would be able to actually go and include the time that you're spending to purchase the material into the time that you do your regular shopping and things like that during the day. So that part of it is not going to be time consuming, and the actual exercises part of it is not going to be that time consuming either. Again, it's going to be between 15 minutes a week to an hour a week. Now, there are going to be more exercises for people who want to do more with their kids, right? So if you want to spend more time, if you do have the time and want to spend more time, you can totally do that. But the minimum that you need to spend excuse me, each week is going to be between 15 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so that's about that. The second question that I get from you guys very often is, how much money am I going to have to spend on the material? Okay, so when you send your kids to some classes like chess, for example, all the material that you have to buy is probably like the chessboard, and that's it, right? So this is not going to be as cheap as that. You do need to, spend some money on the material, but that's not going to be too much. Like, it's a lot less than when you send your kids to sports, like the equipment and tools and things like that you have to, buy for a sports class is up there. This is not going to be that bad. Again, I have students all over the world, so I can't give you exact numbers. I can give you a guesstimate for, like here, Toronto, Canada. I do not spend more than $5 a week on the material that I need to buy. Usually that's around. So at the beginning, your setup probably is going to be a little more money, but as you go along, it's going to be less and less. And depending on what connections you have and if you know where to buy from, you might not even spend any money. This is not going to break your budget. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Another question, very good one actually, is why should I spend this money and buy this course instead of sending my kids to a gardening class, right? And this is a very, very good question. There's a huge difference between this course and a gardening class that you send your kids. First of all, this is a lot cheaper. Like, in terms of money that you're going to spend, this is a lot cheaper, especially if you have more than one child. Like, for example, if you send your kid to a gardening class, a summer camp gardening class, for example, which is like for 1 week, you're going to have to spend $300 probably for one child. If you have 2 kids, that's going to be like $600. And if you have more kids, obviously a lot more. Here, you're only spending less than $200, like it's like $197, and you are going to, that's one time for all of your kids. So it's a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper, right? But the most important thing is that those classes are for kids, not for you. This is for you. You are learning how to teach your kids, and you are going to have a garden at home, which is a huge difference, right? So when you send your kids out there, they're going to go and they're going to have a little bit of fun, but that's not really the purpose of this course. They're not going to learn how to grow food. The connection that they receive in those classes with the natural world and the origin of their food is a lot less. It's a short period of time. They come back, they forget everything. But when you buy the Grow Food with Kids at Home blueprint course, you're going to learn, and your kids are going to actually build their own garden. In those classes, even if they bring the material, whatever they planted at home, then you have to, what am I going to do with it, right? Like, you have to put it in a bigger pot, or you have to put it in a garden so that it actually gives your kids food. And if you don't know how to do that, then what's the point, right? So that's not going to be good enough, essentially. But this course is like, you learn to do it at home. Your kids are going to have a constant connection with a growing kids garden at home. And it's going to be a lot better because it's not just your kids who are learning how to grow food. It's the whole family together. You're going to be able to enjoy the harvest. You're going to be able to cook what your kids actually grow together. You're going to be able to enjoy the whole garden season after season. So there's a huge difference. You're not going to get that with any class that you send your kids. And it's like, sending your kids, those classes are awesome. They're like every once in a while for fun, for summer fun and things like that. But this is different. This is not a hands-free type of parenting. This is for parents who actually want to engage with their kids and want to do it while they're, at home. There's a huge difference. And it's a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper. So Also, those are usually for kids, not for parents. This is for you. Also, those are in-person workshops. Even if they're for parents, even if you can find one that's for parents, those are in-person workshops, meaning that you can't pause them while they're in session. You can't attend them at any time and anywhere that you want. With an online course like this, you can do that. You can do it at the comfort of your home. You can listen to me and learn from me at the beach. You can, anywhere you want, at any time you want. You can do it when your kids are down and you have time in the evening. You can do it anytime you want, whenever you want. So, and that's something that you can't do with an in-person workshop. Also, in an in-person workshop, no matter how good your notes are, depending on where you are, where your learning level is, it's going to be, you're going to catch some of that information, and no matter how good your notes are, you're not going to catch everything. But with an online class, obviously you can go back to it and back to it and back to it as many times as you want, and you learn and you learn and you learn. You can refer to material, keep going back to it all the time. So that's a huge difference. So essentially you can't compare it with sending your kids to a gardening class or workshop. So yeah, I do recommend to try this. And by the way, and I have to repeat telling you this because people forget, there's a 30-day free look policy that I have, meaning that you can join the course and for 30 days. So this is like 6 weeks, and for a lot of the course, the time of the course, you can try it out, and if you didn't like it, just flip me an email, and no foul, no hard feelings. I'm just going to return your money. Okay, so you either get a good return of investment with kids who are really engaged in growing food at home, or you're going to get your money back, right? Okay, I know you're not going to do that if you do get the value that you want, but it's your choice, right? You can totally do that, no problem. So I had some questions about timing. So I had two very specific questions about timing. One of them was, you guys told me that you did look at the free material, the free videos that I've been giving out, and you did go to growveg.com, and you did register for the trial version, and you did get your planting schedule. Okay, awesome. And you were looking at it and you're like, oh my God, so that means I can't plant anything right now, right? Okay, so I couldn't cover everything in those three free videos, obviously. Yes, growveg.com is awesome, but it has a limitation, and the limitation is that its focus is on spring growing. Okay, so that is a limitation. What I'm going to teach you actually during this course is how to use the growveg.com planting schedule that you have to do it for fall. There's plenty that you can plant right now and get harvest. I live in Toronto, Canada, and it is cold here. It gets cold. It's not the coldest place on earth, but it is relatively cold relatively to a lot of places, right, that are south of us. So yes, there is plenty you can plant right now, and I'm going to tell you which ones, and for the quick result type of planting that we want to do with kids, which encourages them and excites them, there's plenty to plant, no worries. So you can join the course right now, and you can use the same information for your spring gardening as well, no problem. So that's one thing about timing. The other one about timing was, you were like, okay, so there's exercises and we have to, do these exercises, even if it's 15 minutes a week. What if 1 week I don't have those 15 minutes? That is not a problem. You can absolutely join the course, because the way I have built it is, first of all, as much as possible, so I'm not saying 100%, but as much as possible, the activities from week to week are independent. Meaning that if you do the activity 1 week and then you don't have time the next week, it's fine. Your plans are going to be fine. Even if you travel the next week and you're not there, we do set up your garden in the most chore-free, independent type of setup. so that you have the freedom. So that if 1 week you don't have the time to spend on the activity, you can catch up with the activities later, and your plants are going to be fine. Okay, so no worries about that timing. There was another question about theory. How much of this is going to be theory and how much of it is going to be hands-on practical? Sorry, hold on. Hands-on practical, a lot of hands-on practical. There is going to be a little bit of theory for you guys as parents, because some of you have no idea, and that's fine, totally fine, because I've been there myself just a few short years ago. Okay, so I am going to give you all the groundwork of theory that you need to know. But when it comes to teaching or doing the activities with your kids, it's going to be all hands-on, very much experiential. It's not going to be a lesson. You're not going to have to get your kids, sit down, I'm going to teach you about gardening. Nothing like that. It's going to be very hands-on. It's going to be experiential, authentic type of learning. The learning is going to be indirect. It's going to come through you, obviously. So there's a little bit of theory for you, lots of hands-on for your kids. So next question. All right. So again, this is not the best time of doing a live video. It's in the middle of the day, but I had no time in the evening to have most of you online. But again, I was like, I have to do this. So I hope that most of you can come and look at the video later. The next question. This is a good one. All right. I'm convinced I want to grow food with my kids at home, but I know all the values and all that. I so much want this as a parent, but my kids are not interested. Good question. How do you get your kids interested? So there are two reasons. Like, I've worked with hundreds of kids in schools. I have 2 kids with 2 different ages, 6 years of difference. I have worked with my own child at home when she was a toddler, when she was elementary. She's going to high school, my older one right now. I have an elementary child at home, and I have a soon-to-be high school child at home. I have worked with hundreds of kids in elementary, toddler, elementary, and high school. So obviously, I don't know your child specifically. You know your child better than anybody else. I'm not going to be sitting here and saying, pretending that I know your child. But from my experience that I have with hundreds of kids and growing food with them, there are 2 reasons for them not being interested, usually. One, the reason number 1 is that they had no exposure to it. Absolutely no exposure. So if they haven't done it, haven't seen it, obviously they're not interested because they don't know how much fun it can be, right? That's one reason. Reason number 2 is that they could be exposed to the wrong type of gardening. And it is all over the place. Wrong gardening, the one that creates a lot of chores, the one that creates a lot of problems, pest and disease, and constant chores of fertilizing and watering and this and that, happens all the time. A lot of people do it wrong, okay? So there could be a lot of people around your kids who keep telling them that this is hard work, this is not going to be easy, this is going to be, oh my God, it's going to be like all the squirrels and raccoons are going to come and eat all of your food, and it's going to be so much disappointment, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Those people, first of all, what I do usually is very politely, I call them off. Like, do not tell my kids that growing food is hard, because this is not true. It is a total huge myth that's all around your kids. Like, people, it's hard, oh, it's so much work. No, because they're either not doing it. Like, some of them don't even have gardening experience, and they keep saying that. And I'm like, oh, really? Have you done it? Nope. Can you not tell my kids it's hard if you don't really know that it's hard? That's one thing. And some of them are, really gardeners, but they do it the wrong way, or they do it the adult way. So the way we're doing it in this course is like, we're going to do the things that are going to get the kids excited and interested. And as soon as they get exposed to it, they're going to be interested. So if your kids have not been exposed to it, and therefore they're not interested, that means that if they do get exposed to it, they might, to the wrong type of gardening, they're going to be, up for it, right? And if they have been exposed to people who kept telling them that growing food is hard, or Another thing that your kids might be hearing is, you know what? Gardening, growing food, it's for people who have no education. Oh my God, that cannot be further than the truth. Growing food is a skill that a lot of people have, and it's an awesome skill to have for your kids too. So don't let people poison your kids' minds with those type of stuff. This is low-level job. You don't want to do that. You want to go and become a computer programmer. You don't want to be a food grower. I am a computer programmer. Did you know that? I worked for 15 years in corporate world, and I have a lot of respect for technology. Not the addictive type that we want to get our kids away from, but technology is a good thing. Look at me. I'm talking to you live right now, right? So yes, there's value in that, and our kids have to be, we want to grow kids who are whole people, right? And growing food and connecting to the natural world and spending time outside. All of that is part of, raising whole human beings who know the value of their food, who are connected to the natural world, and all of that good stuff, right? Okay, I'm going on a tangent here. Sorry about that. Let me see. Did I answer all the questions that I had received from you? Oh, another one. You strongly suggested organic soil and seed. I cannot find any around me. What should I do? Should I join the class or not? You should absolutely join the class. Do not let anything stop you. If you want this for your kids, do not let anything stop you. If you cannot find, yes, I do recommend organic. And I do strongly recommend organic. But if you don't find organic seeds close to you or organic soil close to you, that's fine. Do with whatever you have. Step into it, and you're going to ease into organic. You're going to look for it, you're going to find it, you're going to talk to people, they're going to tell you where to get it. No worries. Okay, don't let anything stop you. Don't let myths stop you from joining the class. Don't let, you looked around and you went to your grocery store and there's no organic seed or soil. Don't let that stop you. The only thing that I do want to mention here is when it comes to seeds, no problem. If it's not organic, it's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world, right? I do recommend organic, but if it's not, fine. When it comes to soil, though, it's fine if it's not organic. But make sure there's no harmful chemical fertilizers in it, because what I'm going to be very adamant about during this 6 weeks course is that, because it's going to be a lot of hands-on and your kids are going to be touching the soil, you do not want to introduce, we want to connect them to nature. We don't want to introduce blocks. We don't want to tell them, okay, put on gloves. We want to make sure the soil is safe. Okay. And if there's chemical fertilizers in that non-organic soil, let's not have that. But if it doesn't say organic on it right now, you don't have access to one that's organic, not a problem, okay? Don't let it stop you. Don't let anything stop you, okay? I am pretty flexible. And this is pretty flexible, and you're going to see that. So that's all I think that I had. We talked about how much time it's going to take you to do the exercises, how much money you're going to have to spend on it. Why should you buy this course and not send your kids to gardening class? We talked about timing. Is this a good timing? Because fall is close. Yes, it's perfect timing. Don't worry about timing. How much theory is it going to be? Another timing one. Like, what if I didn't have time this week or next week? Can I catch up? Absolutely not a problem. What if my kids are not interested? We talked about that. Does it have to be organic? No, it doesn't have to be organic. We do prefer it, but that's fine. So those are the questions, overall questions that I got from the community. So again, I apologize. This is not the best time of going live because most of you are probably not on Facebook, but I did not have time during the evening today, and I did want to answer your questions. But this is going to be recorded on Facebook, and you can come back to it. I'm going to put the link to the registration for the class again down below. Here, I did it the first time that I connected and went live, but again, my internet connection got disconnected, and I had to delete those, and I was lazy and didn't want to type the link again. But I'm going to put it in the comment box, no worries. And when in the evening you see this video and you're listening to it and your questions come up that I didn't answer, type them in under here or flip me an email. My email is leilam@kidsgrowingcity.ca. That is LEILAM at kidsgrowingcity.ca. Or, again, put it under this comments or, message me on the Kids Growing City Facebook. I'm going to send the link to this live video to the people who are on my list today. And I can't wait to see you in class. So make sure that you join us. This is going to be awesome. We're going to grow food with your kids at home. Your kids are going to be growing food at home in 6 weeks, and they're going to be having an exciting and quick result type of garden that is going to actually give you food in 2 months or less. Depends on, if you follow along, you're going to totally get there. And it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be exciting and empowering. Okay, so I can't wait to see you in class. I can't wait to see your comments when you get home and go live, go on Facebook and see this video. Again, sorry that I had to do this at this point in time. Awesome. I can't wait for the interactions with you guys. Okay, bye.